All right, NCAA men's and women's championship is a wrap. UConn won the women's, and Florida won the men's.
Yeah, man.
Um, Good games, as you can tell. I don't have much of a voice as we were watching that Florida Houston game, and I don't know what the hell Houston was thinking at the end.
Uh, I mean, Houston is a defensive team, man. They're a
Mhm.
defensive team. They're not really known for their offense like that, and it kind of showed toward the end right there.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I mean, come on, man. I don't want to blame the coach, but you got to come out with your best play. This got to be the play you've been saving all season, or the play that's been working for you all season.
right, right. And they only needed 2 points at that time, right?
Yeah,
I mean, why don't you drawing something that's going to go towards the basket, and you're going to at least try to get the foul? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Um, it just didn't. It didn't look like they had it set up. Either they didn't run it like it was drawn, or they didn't have nothing really set up good. It didn't look like they were kind of freestyling.
It did feel like they were freestyling. It also felt like the moment got to them. You know what I
It,
mean?
yeah.
It was the moment was just too big for them, and they just wasn't ready for it. I felt so bad for like Calvin Sampson. You know, he's been a coach. He's been around for a long time. Had a lot of success at Oklahoma. I'm trying to remember what what school he was at before he went to Houston. But he's had success everywhere he's gone and been to the Sweet 16, Elite Eight. There's some really good teams and never has gotten over that hump to get that championship. And I was really hoping that Houston would get it for him. But it felt like the moment was too big for him and his team, and they didn't pull it out, man. I felt bad for him, but hey, Florida, they put in the work and they got the
Yeah,
win,
man.
man.
Hey, the team that I picked to win it actually won it. I don't know when the last time that's ever happened with
Yeah.
me. Uh, I just wish I had the damn put my bracket in on the right side. I clicked the wrong link on the damn video and went to the women's joint. Thought I'm picking for the men's, and I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, all these where these teams at? Because the first joint is a lot of teams that you already know, right? It's
Right,
like
right, right.
so teams in there. So I didn't even really realize until I got to like the Elite Eight, and I was like, wait a minute, where is because they got Duke over there too, and they got Florida over there too,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was like UConn was the number one team. I was like, okay, they got UConn over in mid too. But it was another team, and I was like, wait a minute, this team ain't like a high ranking team. This ain't one high ranking team. Then I go look and I look up and I said, oh man, it's the women's bracket. This is the women's bracket, man.
Oh man.
And I actually had one with Duke and one with UConn. And I
Hmm.
gotta go back to see how much I got right on that UConn bracket. I might want some money or something. I don't even know.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I
check it
did,
out.
I did two brackets in the women's, and then when I go do the men's, it was the day of the tournament. The tournament already started, so they
Yeah,
had
because
two.
I remember you text me about it. I'm like, yeah,
Yep,
dude,
yep,
that's about to close in like 5 minutes.
yep, yep. It already started when I was putting it in.
Yep,
Oh,
I
man,
remember. I remember.
yeah.
Um, on the men's side of it, did you notice any talents that played that you're looking forward to seeing in the NBA?
Um, to be honest with you, no. Nobody really stood out. I mean, it just looked like a bunch of athletic basketball players, but nobody really stood out. I didn't feel like no one that like stood out, heads above everybody else. And I was like, oh yeah, that dude gonna be nice at the next level. I just saw a lot of athletic. I saw some good defensive basketball, which is kind of shocking.
Yeah,
That
they're right.
defense.
But that says a lot. I think it goes back to what you and I have been talking about with the fact that you got more veteran players, players that's been playing the game more. They've been playing college basketball longer now. So it's more cohesive, you know what I'm saying, opposed to how it was in the past when you just had a bunch of guys together, you know what I mean? Young guys, freshmen starting. So,
Right.
just working purely on athleticism. So, yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I think the defense it really showed out. Hopefully that translates over to the NBA. You know,
I wish. I wish it wasn't just running up and down in the NBA, but yeah, I mean, relatively low scoring game, um,
yeah,
65, 63. It was a a rather defensive side. But with that being said, when you look for those next level stars, you're usually looking at somebody on offense.
yep.
And offensively, I just ain't really see nobody step up. Like nobody really stood out to me. Like, oh yeah, that dude right there. That's they're gonna have to stop him.
Well, the
And
only person I
I
can
knew
think
who the
of,
stars were. I knew who the stars were, but I
right?
just didn't see them stepping up. It just didn't like they were just standing out. It
Well,
wasn't like an AI going in there scoring 40 or Glenn Robinson, looking unstoppable. You know,
right. Well, the
something like
only one I felt that I don't want to say was unstoppable, but that really stood out like a boy, like a man amongst boys was the Auburn Tigers. Is it John Broome, the 6'10" center, the big man for Auburn?
mm-hmm.
He the only one that seemed like a man amongst boys. And I think he has an NBA body, but I don't really know what the scouting reports are, but he's the only one that really stood out to me. I'll have to see what the NBA is looking at as far as scouting or who they believe are top picks coming
Yeah,
out of
I
college.
mean, I didn't even feel like Cooper Flag was really all that dominant. I mean, he
Yeah,
had good games. He definitely had good games, but I
right,
didn't, like he didn't look unstoppable to me.
right. I agree. I
You
wasn't
know?
that impressed.
Yeah, I'm like for the consensus number one
Number one
overall
overall
pick.
pick. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He just didn't look like that to me. I mean, I know he had some big games. He did have some clutch games, made some big bashes at the end. But I'm just looking at the skill level. The skill level didn't look all that great to me. It was pretty basic. I mean, he was doing something. He's just very athletic and he's tall. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
But I mean, he's efficient. He's
Yeah,
efficient. I mean, that game
he's
against
efficient.
Houston,
Yeah,
he dropped 27 points.
yeah, yeah.
And you don't even notice
Right,
it. So, I mean,
right,
I think that's a good sign that he's
right.
able to drop that many points and you don't even notice that he dropping 27 points on Houston. A good
It's
defensive team.
right. Defensive team like the one of the bit. I think they were. Matter of fact, I think scoring wise, they were the number one defense in the country.
Right.
I believe. Defensive efficiency wise as well. But it was like some things I just saw him doing. I like, well, I don't know if he'll be able to do that on NFL. I mean, the NBA level.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I mean, he's got the body, 6'9",
oh
six
yeah,
foot nine.
he got the
So
size for sure, and
he's
he's
got the
athletic.
size and he's athletic. So he's got an NBA body. So I can see why they got him as the top pick.
Right,
So
but it's just I seen a lot of players with his size and athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying
mm,
I just didn't see the skill. So I ain't see him hit 5 threes in a row. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see him race from side to side, cross country, get the ball, judge people go straight to the hoop and just make a basket. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
But who knows what I mean, he could improve. He could get better.
Right.
I wasn't number one, like consistent number one overall impressed. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like I thought I should be anyway.
Right. No, I get it. I mean, like I said, I thought he was quietly efficient,
Yeah, he was
So
definitely efficient. I definitely give him
yeah,
that.
I
That's a good way to describe him.
yeah,
Efficient. Definitely efficient.
efficient. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was anything like I hear what you're saying. Was nothing that stood out that excited you about him. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. You know,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I get caught up into. I want to see some stuff on offense. I want to see
Right.
you do on offense. You know what I'm saying? Even
Right.
though I complain about there not being any defense,
right.
I still want to see what you're doing on offense.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, that's what we all look at. I mean, defense, in college becomes it's more of a team, activity to play
Hmm.
defense. You're playing team defense in college, but in the pros, it's going to stand out. You got to be an individual defensive player because in the pros they're going to spread you out.
Yeah, yeah,
They're going to spread you out, and they're going to try to switch you up and switch you on,
yep.
they're going to look for mismatches. That's what it's all about in the NBA.
Yeah.
Mismatches, making a switch. So
ISO. Yep.
yeah, ISOs and stuff like that
Pick
to
and roll.
get a mismatch.
Yep.
And so that's where it really stands out on whether or not you can truly play defense.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It was a good game to watch. It was fun to watch. Hanging out with the fellas, watching the game. Good game.
Yeah, it
Now,
was good on both sides. Because when the women got down to the final eight, because of course Maryland was in it, so I had to watch it.
yeah, yeah,
And, uh, they were kind of interested as well on that side. You know,
yeah. Not so much the championship game,
no,
but the Final Four. I mean,
the whole NCAA, both men's and women's, is basically scripted to be the top team. Just bet the top teams. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You'll have your Final Four bracket. You
right,
know,
right. Well,
it's
I
just
mean, considering how things are since the pandemic, where you got players sticking around for 4 or 5 years, some even 7 years, you know what I mean? It
yeah.
just changed the dynamics of the game. And Cinderella's no longer, showing up in the tournament, at least not yet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll level out.
Yeah, we talked about it. The
Yeah.
NIL, the NIL is going to take away the Cinderella teams.
Yeah. Taking away, yeah. But not only that, the fact that they're sticking around longer, it's taking
Yeah,
away the Cinderella teams,
yeah,
right? You don't have Kentucky with 5 freshmen out there getting beat by some team with veteran players,
right.
So yeah. And so you don't have the upsets like you had. But I mean, and on women's side of you never really had those type of upsets
Right.
anyway, especially with UConn. I mean, what UConn is that they won their 12th championship in like 20 years or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Gino has won the championship in the 90s, in the 2000s, the 2010s, and now in the 2020s. Four different decades. He's won the championship.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
crazy, man. UConn, man. 12 championships.
yeah, man.
That's insane, man. That's got to go down as one of the greatest runs in any sport of a team dominating. I mean, I guess that's got to go down with. I mean, and then I get it. It did not getting enough attention for it, but it's got to go down with UCLA with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then they brought in Bill Walton. I forget how many championships that UCLA team won with John Wooden. I mean, you got to start looking at UConn on that level. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Pretty much. I mean, pretty much. And the way they rolled in the championship,
Yeah, rolled South Carolina.
just rolled them. It was like,
Yeah,
and this why I was taking UConn with the points on that, because that's what I had actually had that in the parlay. I had Florida winning, and I had UConn to win by points. I think it was like 7.5 points or something like that for the UConn women. Uh, but South Carolina, they just weren't that team that they were 2 years ago. They were still kind of
it
living off.
lost too much.
They
Yeah,
lost too much, man. They just lost too
yeah.
much. They don't have them skilled players. They don't have them big players like they had. So you lose that eventually. I mean, that was what, 2 years ago? So, you lose the amount of players over 2 years, what I'm saying? Eventually your luck gonna kind of run out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And you don't have the stars to lean on. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. I forget what Coach said. He said that your program gets you to the Elite Eight, but your stars get you to the Final Four into the
Mhm.
championship game.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think there was truly any stars on South Carolina, like the Paige Beckers, who
Yeah.
can take over games and stuff like that. Even though she had a kind of low game, wasn't one of her big games, but still in all, your stars kind of propel you to these wins. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how it's supposed to happen. But UConn, they just, like I said, they still had their thing rolling. And when I saw South Carolina, like I said, I used Maryland as that bar. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Maryland as that bar. I said,
because Maryland was supposed to get rolled in that game against South Carolina. What was it,
yeah,
17 point?
17 and a half point underdogs.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And it was winning that game like in the second half, like late in the second half,
right,
and was right there to win that game. They did not get rolled at all. And I'm like, man, South Carolina did not look good at all.
right,
It could have
right.
been a bad game, but it just didn't feel like a bad game.
Right. They just didn't seem as dominant as they've been in the past.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It was like, okay, they're not as strong.
Hmm.
Um, and UConn really exposed them in that championship game.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Just crushed.
All right. NBA. Uh, what's your thoughts on Mike Malone getting fired by the Denver Nuggets along with Calvin Booth? I mean, you got 47 wins. You're three games away from the playoffs, and you
Yeah.
fired the head coach and the GM. What is happening in the NBA? Was it Taylor Jenkins that got fired 2 weeks ago from Memphis?
For
They're
Memphis, yeah.
going to the playoffs. What's
Right.
happening?
I don't know, man. This is
I
weird. This close to the playoffs, you doing it?
know.
I mean, I heard about tanking, but you can't tank from the playoff position, can you? Can you do that? Can
I
you
don't
tank
know.
from the playoff position? Say we just gonna get rid of our coach when we this close to the playoffs. Like the change is gonna get us over the hump, you know? Um, I don't even understand the thing in Denver, right? I get it. They had some ridiculous losses lately to some teams they shouldn't have been losing to.
Right.
But I mean, that's kind of the whole NBA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Last year, the Boston Celtics lost to the Lakers. They lost by 10 plus points to the Lakers at home with no LeBron and no Anthony Davis.
Right.
Okay. And Reeves went and tore him up, had like 30 something points. You know, it kind of happens in the NBA. You know, the teams lose. And plus, these players, this is what's wrong with the NBA too. And that's why they're losing ratings. When we had that show about the ratings being down because the regular season don't really matter. It don't matter to the fans. It don't matter to the players. You know, that's why they be sitting out resting all the time. You know, they can play, they can not play. You know, I don't know if it's just too many games or they just don't care until the playoffs come, but it don't feel like it really matters.
Well,
You know?
especially towards the end. Like they're getting close towards the end of the regular season, and it just seems like they're sleepwalking. It seems like everybody like right now, Luca is motivated because he's playing against Dallas right now. He's trying
Right,
to put his foot in Dallas' ass right
right.
now.
And
I
he's
mean,
doing
he's doing it. What we got 38 points already on Dallis. So yeah, they may have They may have set him down because he had like 30 at halftime. Like
yeah,
that's
right.
enough, Luca. Yeah, that's enough, Luca.
It's at halftime, man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just I think it's been a long season, and yeah, like you said, it could be too many games, but towards the end, teams start to fade and they start losing games they're not supposed to lose, like Memphis. That's why Taylor Jenkins got fired. You
Mm,
know, you can see the Warriors ascending up, the Lakers ascending up, where the teams that were leading all season are now falling back.
right.
I think that's part of the reason Mike Malone got fired because they're like on a 3-game losing streak. So it's
Mm,
just weird, man. It's just weird to see a coach who was once riding down the middle of Denver Main Street, celebrating a championship, talking about we're going for a repeat, now getting fired 2 years later. Like it's weird, man. Like Nick Nurse getting fired from Toronto. Frank Vogel getting fired from the Lakers after he won a championship.
Right, right. And it
I don't
ain't
get it.
like Denver was terrible this year, nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Jokic was still doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? His MVP level thing. You
right,
know what I'm saying? Like I said, yeah, they took a couple L's that they probably weren't supposed to, but so is everybody, seems like, you know. And they weren't like the top three seeds like you would expect them to be around there. You know, they're the fifth seed, you know.
right.
It's I guess it seems like you're like not meeting your expectations. You know what I'm saying? But between the second seed and the fifth seed where they're at, it's only 5 games.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? The Rockets are
yeah,
in second with 52 games. They're in fifth with 47 games. I mean,
yeah.
that's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
That,
yeah, it just don't make sense that you would fire him unless they got to a shout match or something like that.
that's the only thing I can see happening. That there was some kind of shouting match. Maybe Jokic was involved. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense why you would fire him.
Yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
But I tell you this: since they did fire him, I sure hope the Pelicans are looking and ready to pick him up because I think, look, love. I love Willie Green, when he was a player and everything. But damn it, you done had too many chances, Willie. It's time to move on. Let's bring in Mike Malone. Mike Malone has some history. He was a coach when was it? I think there was still they were Pelicans, or maybe they were the New Orleans Hornets. But Mike Malone has been on our coaching staff, and now bring him back home. Bring him home. Let him coach the Pelicans, because I think the Nuggets made a mistake. I mean, you can't fire him, and Jamal Murray's not even there. His point guard is not there.
Right.
His point guard is out. So
yeah,
you would think they would give him some extra rope, Hey, we'll give you some more time to figure it out once Jamal gets back. But now they fired him. Weird.
I really don't understand what was behind. I ain't even hear like no real rumor mill on it about what happened right there. What happened with that? Were they just not getting along? Something? The team wanted them off.
Maybe Jokic wanted him out. Maybe Jokic had enough of him.
Maybe.
Maybe. Jokic, when they ask Jokic questions, I don't even know if Jokic likes basketball. He's just
about his horses, man. That's all he care about, his horses.
His horses, that's right. Like, does Jokic like basketball? Does he even care if he won the MVP? Yeah, I just go out there, I throw the ball in the hoop.
Right.
That's what I do.
Basically.
So they probably went to Jokic. What do you think about us firing Mike Malone? He coaches, he doesn't coach. It doesn't matter. Right. I throw a ball in the hoop.
You could fire him, or you could not fire him, and we'd be our coach. It's one of
be fine. Yeah, send him home. Jokic probably doesn't care, man. So I don't know. I think this. I like I said, I'm looking at it from my selfish standpoint. I like him as a coach. Bring him into New Orleans. Make this happen. Because we cannot go through another losing season when there's much talent on our team.
Right.
So bring him back. Bring him home. Before we wrap up, just quick update. Lakers beat the Mavs. Luka dropped 45 points on the Mavs. 7 of 10 from 3. He put in some work on him. 45 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Luka returns to Dallas.
Wow. It says, take that.
Take that. He went full Diddy on it.
All right. With the baby oil.
Yep. He said with the baby oil. All right. Thanks for joining us again. We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Holla.